Heya! Today I'm going to be creating my persona, the character that will represent me on my channel. So first of all, hi, I'm Loofy, welcome to the channel. Here I plan on doing character art, design and art studies, as well as a bunch of other fun stuff. I want this channel to be a place for me to be creative, and also hopefully grow as an artist. Starting anything is always nerve-wracking, so I thought I'd simply start at the beginning. Well, I'm going to be showing you some initial concepts for the character, more final designs, colour tests, and then some final art of her for the channel. What you're seeing right now is my first digital concepts, with me still figuring out what direction I wanted the character to go in. Before this, I'd already created 2 A3 pages of rough design ideas, which I'll show on screen now. A lot of these outfits took inspiration from my wardrobe and what I usually like wearing, which is turtlenecks and jumpers. Autumn is my favourite season because I get to wear my favourite outfits. If you haven't noticed, I have curly hair, so I wanted to feature that in the design, but I couldn't figure out how to style it. You can create lots of fun shapes with hair and make a silhouette interesting, but I feel like waves can make it difficult to do that. Though that could just be a me problem. I don't draw curly hair that often, let alone like really frizzy hair. As you can see from my digital sketches, I went through a few variations of hairstyles. I have bangs, so I wanted to incorporate that, but I also wanted some hair up so I could show off earrings in the design. I own these cool dreamcatcher earrings that I got from the beach, so I really wanted to include those. I had a base for the hair that I later drew, which I really liked the silhouette of. I was inspired by Hukuro from Ginger Ninja Owo's Prism character designs. My first pass of the outfit wasn't good. I took design 7 and transferred it into digital form, testing colours as well. I could not for the life of me make the colours work. The pants and the jumper just kept clashing, and with the added colour the design felt plain. I tried making the colour purple work since when I drew myself ages ago I was wearing this lilac jumper, but the colours just weren't cooperating. It felt like all these cool tones were clashing too much with the little warm tones I had. The green eyes and the purple weren't mixing, and the pants were so annoying. It was just the pants were just one bulk of colour, and for some reason when I'd zoom out, I'd just keep staring at the pants, and no matter what colour I changed them to, they just stuck out too much and I did not know how to fix it. Especially the bow. I kept having to redraw it or change it, or I just kept staring at it because it didn't fit. It was very frustrating. I took a break and had a think before trying again. I felt like I was limiting myself a bit by trying to make this character look like me. Sure, it was my persona, but it didn't have to be realistic. The reason you have a persona is so that you can have a fun representation of yourself. If I just wanted to draw me, then I'd draw me. But no, I'm making a persona, so I'm gonna have fun with it. I turned to my usual methods of character design. Apart from personality, what did she need? I'm not saying all character designs need a theme. If they have a clear personality and background, you can use that to inspire your design. But for me, themes can help with making a design more cohesive. The first theme I came up with was dark academia. My designs were already in that territory anyway, and I felt like it fit me as a person. The second I chose was owls because of how I was drawing the hair already, and I thought it would work well with a woodchuck. How would a woodchuck would. Oh no. I made a few traditional sketches before moving to digital concepts. I kept most elements the same like the hair and earrings, but experimented with the outfit more. I had a mood board full of dark academia fashion and owl elements I referenced more instead of my own clothes. I kept the shirt but made the jumper sleeves longer and poofier, since I thought they'd be more representative of wings. I also added hair to the bangs that pointed upwards to represent the little ear tufts owls have, because they're really cute and recognisable. I wanted to change the pants to a skirt since I thought it'd be cool if it could represent a bird's tail, but it didn't really work in my sketches. Design 10 was the closest to what I wanted. For the digital sketches, I took what I liked and made a few variations. After looking on Google, I found images of a high-low skirt, which was what I had been picturing in my head basically. I made iterations of my designs before I settled on something I liked. I adjusted the hair tufts to make the silhouette more interesting and added a V pattern to the jumper since I thought it looked too plain. I did try trousers in a different skirt design, but went back to high-low skirt. It's honestly such a cool skirt and I wouldn't mind having one myself. I took design 3 and drew a close-up for the face before messing with colour. I created a clipping group to make colouring easier and coloured the close-up face first, so I had a rough guide for the colours I wanted. I wanted the colour scheme to be green and brown since it would work with the themes and would suit the character more. My first colour scheme was more desaturated, with red and a lima green. For the second, I tried to make the colours a bit more vibrant. I used grayscale to check and balance the colour values. What I mean when I say colour values is basically how dark or light a colour is. If you put a grayscale overlay over a drawing and all your colours look the same sort of grey, you should probably try adjusting some of your colours and make them darker or lighter. It'll help balance out your drawing or design a bit more. I switched the boots from black to brown and made the skirt more of a cream colour. For my third attempt, I made the jumper lighter and more brighter, switching the skirt to black and making the boots a lighter brown. I darkened the shirt and lightened the tights to help balance values. I added some rough shading to check I was happy with the colours and how the design might look if more rendered. Then I moved on to final art. What you'll see me working on now is artwork for the banner for my channel, so that's why the characters are arranged like this, and why I'm drawing Bumpy. If you don't know who Bumpy is, he's a weird little dino creature who appears in my animation that's on my channel. He's a cute little guy who I made for a college project and I love him. I started out by sketching the rough poses and then fiddling with the proportions of them. This took me a while and a lot of fiddling and resketching as well as looking at references. I don't know if I'll show all the footage for it because it took me a while. I'm better at drawing faces and anatomy, and it's something I'll have to practice more, as well as perspective for posing. I finally created a rough sketch of my design as well as Bumpy. I actually have a reference sheet for Bumpy, and he's just made of circles, so he's pretty simple to draw, as well as animate. Not that animating's easy in general, but it's a bit easier to animate when your character's more on the simple side. I started another sketch to fix elements I didn't like and tweak things, like the face, hands, shoes, jumper, and skirt. Figuring out how the skirt would hang was also tricky and it took me a few tries. Because of the shape of the skirt, I had to try and curve it around the legs and show the layers. A normal skirt just sort of covers up everything, but with this skirt, you have the back that hangs and you have the front that hangs shorter, and then you have to figure out how it all fiddles and connects together. I probably should have found references specifically of high-low skirts, but at the time I couldn't remember what the skirt was called, so I was just looking at regular references of pleated skirts, which wasn't really that helpful, but it's okay. I did get it to work in the end. When I was happy with the sketch, I moved on to line art. It's been a while since I've done proper line art, so I fiddled with a few brushes and decided which one I liked, before settling on one that I used to ink an old comic with. You'll hear more about that in due time. I kind of ended up wishing I chose a different brush. It's not bad, but I like smoother lines over the rough edges the brush has. Doing the line art didn't take long and was pretty peaceful. I used to dislike line art a lot, but I participated every single day during Inktober last year and that's made me find inking more enjoyable. Kind of ironic considering I participated every day and that was quite a lot of work. The stabilizer also makes things easier. If you're struggling a lot with making a line smooth, then turn on the stabilizer. I created a clipping mask again for the flat colours. In Critter, you select a quick clipping group. I'm using Critter, by the way. I probably should have said that earlier. Then I just colour picked and filled them in whilst watching YouTube. It was nice to turn my brain off for a bit. When I'm drawing, I can't watch something at the same time. I have to focus on one thing. Music or podcasts are fine though usually. Sometimes I'll put on an album in Spotify and then I'll focus on drawing. Then later I'll have no idea what I'm listening to because I just tuned out. I also went and did Bumpy's line art and flat colours afterwards. I did both after the character because I was deciding if I wanted to film it or not. Then I was on to rendering. still figuring out how I render. I've somewhat adopted a style I like to draw in, but rendering not so much. If you look at my Instagram, @loofyfloofy, you'll see a range of different styles and rendering methods up till recently. I just enjoy experimentation. Unfortunately, it's hard to create a brand when your style changes every week or so. So now I'm trying to keep things more consistent. I created a multiply layer for the shadow and chose purple since it was the opposite of the character colours. I just did basic shadows since there isn't a clear light source, and lighting is another thing I need a bit more practice on. I can do it with a reference and if it's something I'm focusing on. For the light, I created an addition layer in a lime colour and added bits of shine to the characters. I then added some fading to the shadow and light since I did it in a different piece and liked it. And that was it for the piece. Except not really, because I forgot the glasses and had to add them in later. I don't draw glasses often either, because they're a pain to draw. Anyway, here's the artwork for all the drawings I did in this video, including the final art of my persona and Bumpy. If you liked this video, please stick around for future ones, and let me know what you think of the presentation and editing in this one. It would be nice to get some feedback. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!